There was nobody. I was just sitting on my tail. Nobody was around me.
Okay, and you were over at the beach?
Like I was near the water.
Near the water. So apparently you were masturbating on the beach.
The Tybee Island beach near Savannah attracts many people, especially during peak season. One afternoon, local police received a call from a tourist. The caller reported seeing a woman sitting on the beach not far from their tent, laying out a towel, then taking out a cylindrical object from her bag and engaging in inappropriate behavior. Some even heard strange noises coming from her. Police officers arrived at the scene and found Christina at a nearby bar. The tragedy began. What had happened? Let's find out. Before we get into the main content of the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. Feel free to leave your comments with feedback on the content and any topics you're interested in. Your support means a lot to us. Have a great day. On the sun-drenched sands of Tybee Island, where the salty tang of the ocean mingled with the laughter of beachgoers, a tragedy unfolded that would forever cast a shadow over the tranquil haven. Christina, a young tourist in her early 30s, was using a vibrator. With trembling hands, she reached into her bag and retrieved the object of her desire, an adult toy, a symbol of liberation, of pleasure unrestrained. Little did she know, her moment of vulnerability would be witnessed by prying eyes. As the afternoon wore on, a chilling call reached the local police station. "There's a woman acting strangely on the beach," the caller reported, their voice tinged with concern. "She's laying out a towel, then taking out something strange from her bag. I've never seen anything like it." The police officers, accustomed to the occasional beachside disturbance, responded promptly, their footsteps leaving imprints in the soft sand as they made their way towards the scene of the unfolding drama. With a sense of duty weighing heavy on their shoulders, they approached Christina in the nearby bar, their voices firm yet tinged with a hint of compassion. "Ma'am, we need you to come with us," they instructed, their words cutting through the air like a blade. Christina's eyes widened in shock, her heart pounding against her chest like a caged bird desperate for freedom. I'm sorry, officers, but I don't understand. What have I done?" she stammered, her voice tinged with fear and confusion. "We received a call about some concerning behavior on the beach. It seems you were causing discomfort to other beachgoers, especially the family having children," he explained, his words hanging heavy in the air. Christina's cheeks flushed with embarrassment as she struggled to comprehend the gravity of the situation. "But I wasn't harming anyone, I was just trying to relax." The officers exchanged a knowing glance, silently acknowledging the delicate nature of the situation. "Ma'am, we understand that, but we have to consider the well-being of everyone on the beach." Desperation crept into Christina's voice as she pleaded for understanding. "Please, you have to believe me. I didn't mean to cause any harm. I needed a moment of peace," she implored, her eyes brimming with unshed tears. The police sighed, his gaze softening with empathy. "We hear you, ma'am, but we still need you to come with us. We can discuss this further at the station," he said gently, extending a hand in a silent offer of support. The incident sparked a media frenzy, with the Smoking Gun website reporting on it with a gleeful sensationalism. Social media exploded with vitriol and mockery, chastising Christina's perceived indiscretion. Overnight, she became the punchline of countless jokes, her reputation reduced to a mere footnote in the annals of public ridicule. Let's see some headlines from the press. Breaking news: woman's beach escapade turns into viral sensation. Tune in for the latest on Christina's shocking indiscretion. At Breaking News now. "You won't believe what this woman did on the beach. Watch the video that has everyone talking." At Viral Videos Daily. "Is there no decency left? This woman's antics on the beach are beyond belief. Stay tuned as we uncover the truth behind this scandal." At Investigative News. From beachside bliss to internet infamy, how one woman's moment of relaxation turned into a social media storm. Find out more at The Smoking Gun. The Smoking Gun website. Some people will do anything for attention, but this woman took it to a whole new level. Check out the latest gossip surrounding Christina's beach blunder at Gossip Queen Official. The aftermath was swift and unforgiving. Christina's life spiraled downwards in the wake of her public humiliation. She lost her job, her friends and family shunned her, and the once familiar halls of her community now echoed with unspoken condemnation. The vibrant life she had once led had become a distant memory, replaced by a suffocating cloud of disgrace. In her desperate attempt to find relief from the relentless torment of shame and judgment, Christina turned to a dangerous cocktail of alcohol and antidepressants. But they only numbed the pain, not the shame. Alcohol became her constant companion, its seductive allure promising temporary escape from the anguish that plagued her every waking moment. Christina would often reach for bottles of vodka or whiskey, their amber contents a potent elixir that dulled her senses and clouded her mind. With each swig, she sought refuge in the numbing embrace of intoxication, hoping to drown out the cacophony of voices that whispered cruel taunts and accusations in her ear. But alcohol was a fickle friend, its effects fleeting and its consequences dire. As the numbness wore off, Christina found herself plunged even deeper into despair. Her hangovers a cruel reminder of the price she paid for temporary relief. In addition to alcohol, Christina turned to prescription antidepressants in a desperate attempt to quell the relentless tide of despair that threatened to overwhelm her. Names like Prozac, Zoloft, and Lexapro became familiar to her, their promise of mood stabilization and emotional equilibrium, a beacon of hope in a sea of darkness. But like alcohol, antidepressants proved to be a double-edged sword. While they offered temporary respite from the crushing weight of depression, they also came with a host of side effects and risks. Christina found herself caught in a vicious cycle of dependency, her reliance on medication only serving to exacerbate her feelings of helplessness and inadequacy. One evening, consumed by despair, she swallowed a fatal dose of pills, hoping to escape the relentless torment. Her life ended. When her lifeless body was discovered the following morning, it was met with a mix of pity and indifference. Christina had become a footnote in a tragic tale of public shaming, her life extinguished by the unyielding judgment of others. Let's view her suicide note. My dearest loved ones. As I sit here penning these final words, I am enveloped by a darkness so profound it seems to swallow me whole. Each stroke of the pen feels like a heavy burden, a last desperate attempt to articulate the unutterable pain that has consumed me. I want you to know that this decision was not made lightly. It was not a whim or a fleeting impulse, but the culmination of years spent battling demons too numerous to count. I have fought tirelessly against the shadows that have haunted me, but in the end, they proved too formidable a foe. Please understand that my choice to leave this world is not a reflection of my love for you, nor is it a condemnation of the life we shared together. You have been my anchor, my guiding light in the midst of darkness, and for that, I am eternally grateful. But the weight of my pain has become too much to bear. Each day is a relentless struggle, a battle waged against an enemy that knows no mercy. I have grown weary, my spirit battered and bruised beyond repair. I want you to remember me not for the way I left this world, but for the person I was in life. Remember the laughter we shared, the moments of joy and camaraderie that defined our time together. Hold on to those memories, for they are the true essence of who I am. I am sorry for the pain my absence will inevitably cause you. I wish there were words to ease your suffering, to offer solace in the midst of sorrow. But know that I am at peace now, freed from the shackles of my own despair. Please find it in your hearts to forgive me. Know that my love for you endures, even beyond the confines of this mortal coil, and though I may be gone, I will always be with you, watching over you from afar. Goodbye, my dear ones. May you find the strength to carry on, to embrace each day with renewed hope and determination. And may you never forget the love that binds us together, now and for all eternity. With all my love, Christina. In the end, Christina's life and death had become a cautionary tale about the dangers of public shaming and the lasting consequences of police's abuse. Her story served as a poignant reminder that even in the face of grave error, redemption is possible, but only when judgment is replaced by compassion and forgiveness. But Christina was not the only one suffering from public shaming in the U.S. One story that highlights the dangers of public shaming in the United States is the tragic story of Tyler Clementi. Tyler was a talented young musician and student at Rutgers University who became the victim of cyberbullying and public humiliation. In September 2010, Tyler's roommate, Darun Ravi, used a webcam to secretly stream footage of Tyler's intimate encounter with another man in their dorm room. Ravi then took to social media to publicly ridicule Tyler, sharing details of the encounter and inviting others to watch the live stream. The invasion of Tyler's privacy and the subsequent public humiliation took a profound toll on him. He felt violated, ashamed, and isolated. Despite efforts by friends and university authorities to support him, Tyler struggled to cope with the overwhelming backlash and the betrayal of his trust. Just days after the incident, Tyler took his own life by jumping off the George Washington Bridge. His death sent shockwaves across the nation and sparked a widespread conversation about cyberbullying, LGBTQ+ rights, and the importance of combating online harassment. While stories like Tyler Clementi's highlight the devastating effects of public shaming, there are also tragic instances of individuals in the United States dying as a result of both public shaming and police abuse. One such case is that of Eric Garner, whose death in 2014 sparked nationwide outrage and ignited the Black Lives Matter movement. Eric Garner, a 43-year-old African-American man, was confronted by New York City police officers on suspicion of selling untaxed cigarettes. In a video captured by bystanders, Garner can be heard repeatedly saying, "I can't breathe," as an officer puts him in a chokehold, despite the maneuver being prohibited by the NYPD. Garner ultimately lost consciousness and was later pronounced dead at a hospital. The video of Garner's death circulated widely on social media, drawing attention to issues of police brutality and racial profiling. His final words became a rallying cry for justice, and protests erupted across the country demanding accountability for his death. Despite the widespread outrage and calls for justice, a grand jury declined to indict the officer involved in Garner's death, sparking further controversy and deepening mistrust between law enforcement and communities of color. Garner's death continues to be a painful reminder of the systemic injustices faced by marginalized communities in the United States and the urgent need for reform within the criminal justice system. Another example is the case of Freddie Gray, a 25-year-old African-American man who died in police custody in Baltimore, Maryland, in 2015. Freddie's encounter with law enforcement began when he made eye contact with a police officer and ran away. Despite no evidence of criminal activity, he was chased down, arrested, and placed in a police van. During the ride to the police station, Freddie suffered a severe spinal cord injury, which ultimately led to his death a week later. The circumstances surrounding his injury remain unclear, but witnesses reported seeing Freddie being subjected to rough treatment by police officers during his arrest and transport. Freddie Gray's death sparked widespread outrage and protests against police brutality and systemic racism. It highlighted the disproportionately harsh treatment faced by Black individuals within the criminal justice system and reignited national conversations about the need for police reform and accountability. Through stories told, it is evident that the most significant flaw in U.S. law when it comes to addressing public shaming and police abuse is the lack of consistent accountability and meaningful consequences for perpetrators. While there are laws in place to address these issues, enforcement and prosecution often fall short, allowing systemic injustices to persist. Regarding public shaming, there is a gap in legislation that specifically targets online harassment and cyberbullying. While some states have enacted laws to address cyberbullying, the legal landscape remains fragmented and inconsistent across jurisdictions. Additionally, proving the intent and harm caused by online harassment can be challenging, leading to difficulties in holding perpetrators accountable. Furthermore, while there are laws against defamation and invasion of privacy, they may not adequately address the nuanced dynamics of public shaming in the digital age. The rapid dissemination of information on social media platforms can amplify the effects of public shaming, yet legal remedies often lag behind in addressing these modern forms of harm. In the context of police abuse, one of the primary obstacles to accountability is the qualified immunity doctrine, which shields law enforcement officers from civil liability for actions performed in their official capacity. Qualified immunity can make it exceedingly difficult for victims of police misconduct to seek justice and obtain compensation for their injuries or losses. Additionally, there are often barriers to holding police officers criminally accountable for their actions, such as the high burden of proof required to establish criminal intent or the deference given to law enforcement agencies in conducting internal investigations. This lack of accountability can contribute to a culture of impunity within law enforcement and undermine public trust in the justice system. Moreover, there is a lack of comprehensive data collection and transparency surrounding incidents of police misconduct, making it difficult to assess the scope of the problem and identify patterns of abuse. Without accurate and accessible data, efforts to address police violence and systemic racism are hindered, perpetuating cycles of injustice and inequality. In order to address these flaws in U.S. law, comprehensive reforms are needed at both the federal and state levels. This includes strengthening laws against cyberbullying and online harassment, reforming qualified immunity to hold police officers accountable for misconduct, improving transparency and accountability in law enforcement agencies, and investing in community-based alternatives to policing.